Hello all, and welcome to Miss Martin's Classroom. Today's podcast will be featuring a realistic fiction YA middle grade novel with a touch of magical realism. Kingston finds himself feeling confused and adrift when his white friend Sandy comes out as gay. King feels even more confused when his older brother Khalid tells him that he should avoid Sandy so no one thinks King is gay too. Then, the unexpected happens and Khalid dies. King's mom wants King to see someone, to talk about his feelings, but King knows that he doesn't have much to say besides the fact that he feels sad. He feels sad about Khalid, he feels sad about Sandy, he feels confused. He doesn't know who he is anymore. Every time he thinks of his brother Khalid, King can't stop the tears, even though his own father tells him that boys don't cry. Yet King knows Khalid is still around, just not in the way most people would think to look. He believes that his brother has shed his skin and has become the dragonfly that watches over King in the bayou. However, King still can't embrace who he really is, not when he still fears that Khalid won't accept him for who he loves. When the school bell rings for the day, I get out of there as fast as I can and begin the hour-long walk down the road in the opposite direction of my neighborhood, toward the dragonflies. The dirt road is dusty and hot beneath the soles of my sneakers, and sweat tracks down from the top of my head and across my back, making my t-shirt stick to my skin. I know what my mom would say if I told her Khalid became a dragonfly. She'd send me right into therapy like she's been saying she wants me to do for 3 months now, since Khalid passed away. My dad had always said therapy was for people who are weak, so I was surprised when he didn't argue with my mom for saying I should go. But I sure did. I argued and shouted and screamed. I don't know what a therapist could tell me that I don't already know. I'm angry. I'm mad that Khalid is gone for no reason, no explanation, no chance to even say goodbye. Doctors still don't know what happened. Can't figure out why 1 second a healthy 16-year-old teenager is playing soccer on the field, and the next he's dead on the ground. I'm sad. Don't really know what to say about that, except I start crying for no real reason sometimes. I won't even be thinking about Khalid or anything. Tears will just start pouring out of me, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Sometimes I get that numb feeling, too. Took a few weeks before I could go into the bathroom I shared with Khalid. Took even longer before I stopped sleeping outside in my tent, when I tried sleeping in the bed that used to be our bed, and is now just my bed. I sat there, knees curled up to my chest, like I'd sit still when I listened to Khalid talk in his sleep, and that numb feeling came like a monster out of thin air, came and swallowed me whole. You need to talk with someone, my mom likes to say, even if it isn't with us. But how is talking going to change anything? Telling someone I wish Khalid was still alive isn't going to bring him back. All I can do is look for the dragonfly. Same one that came to the funeral, rested on the casket, and fluttered its wings. That can't just be a coincidence. It was like that dragonfly came to look right at me, to let me know he was still here, still alive, even if he had shed his first skin and moved on. Like he came by for a quick hello before he went back to his dragonfly paradise. The grass gets higher and scratchier, and the hard dirt becomes wetter and muddier, until some parts are whole puddles and I'm sloshing over the path, socks wet and heavy, ends of my jeans turning brown. Finally, I make it to the round clearing, where a pond sits before me. The edge of the swampland that stretches out for miles and miles. Thousands of dragonflies flit through the air, fly and swish and dive, and rest on top of the water, like they're trying to prove to Jesus Christ himself that walking on water isn't so hard. And I just stand there and stare, wishing the dragonfly that'd come to the funeral would fly right up to me and rest on my hand, instead of all the mosquitoes and gnats trying to cover me, getting stuck to my sweat. I have no way of knowing if Khalid is even really here, or if he left our town forever. If he flew right out of Louisiana to travel the world like he'd always wanted to do. I can see it now. Khalid the dragonfly swooping over the rivers of the Amazon, flitting over the alders of Germany, diving through the air over the forest swamps in Indonesia. At the end of it all, maybe he'd come back and tell me everything he'd seen, along with a few more secrets about the universe. I miss hearing about everything he'd seen in his dreams. And I miss him. I miss Khalid so much that sometimes I have to pretend he's still here, still in the first body he was born to, just so that the pain won't hurt as bad. That's what I do now. I tell myself Khalid is home, waiting and wondering where I am, and that he'll have something slick to say the second he sees me, teasing me like he always does. King? I spin around, my heart thumping so hard I think it might just break free from my chest. My eyes are blurry from tears, and my cheeks and nose and chin are wet. I wipe them dry with the back of my hand, quick, and see who else but Sandy Sanders standing just about 10 feet away from me. He's wearing his same white raggedy t-shirt that has a yellow stain in the corner. He wears that shirt every single day. And blue jeans worn so thin they have holes and tears in them. We both stay exactly where we are. Like in those nature documentaries where two animals are about to get into a fight, but first they just stare each other down. Then I ask, "What are you doing here?" He's nervous. Sandy's always been nervous, unable to meet anyone's eye, even when he's laughing and excited and happy. He stares at the swampy ground. I was just walking. Are you following me? No, he says loud, looking up at me for a split second before he looks away again. I was just walking. There's only one path that leads here. I guess that's true. But I've come to the swamp for months now, every single day after school, and I've never seen anyone else way out here, much less Sandy Sanders. I wipe away the last of the tears, embarrassed he caught me crying, and turn my back to him. I hear him ask, "You okay?" I don't answer him, and after a while, I see him walking up, out of the corner of my eye, and stop a little ways away from me. "What are you doing out here anyhow?" he asks. "None of your business." He doesn't look at me, doesn't respond to that. I just needed to be alone for a little while, I guess, and I couldn't think of anywhere to be, so I just started walking. I didn't ask. I know, he says. Even though he's always nervous, can barely meet anyone in the eye, he'll talk your ear off if you give him the chance. He'll just talk and talk, non-stop, without pause. He told me once he talks because he's so nervous, but I don't see how that makes sense. I know you don't like me anymore, he says, or don't want to talk to me anymore because of what I told you that one day and because of, but, and here he takes a deep breath. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry about your brother. I wanted to tell you before, but since you told me not to talk to you anymore, I wasn't sure if it was all right for me to say something like that, and then a month passed and I was scared you'd think I was weird if I told you out of the blue, so I gave up altogether, and now he shrugs. Well, it's too much of a coincidence to find you out here like this, so I guess I figured it's as good a time as ever to tell you. To tell you I'm sorry. He trails off, his voice becoming quieter. About your brother. I don't have much control over the tears. They're still coming. Even though I'm standing right here next to Sandy Sanders, and I don't want him to see me crying. I wish he'd just leave already. But another part of me didn't really want him to go either. Thanks, I tell him. There isn't much else I can say when someone tells me that they're sorry that my brother passed away. Sandy seems relieved. I haven't shouted at him to shut up and leave me alone. He turns back to look at the pond and the dragonflies, too. The sun is high in the blue sky, and the dark water shines right into our eyes, forcing the two of us to squint. I hope you don't think I'm weird for saying this, Sandy tells me. But I can still listen. If you need to talk. I know you don't want to be friends no more, but I can still listen. Each day, King searches the bayou for Khalid, hoping to find the confidence to share his story. Each day, King wrestles with the truth of who he is and its consequences should anyone find out. And when Sandy goes missing, King struggles to come to terms with the true cost of shame and the hate people hold within themselves for those who are different in King and the Dragonflies by Kingston Calendar. This is truly a novel you can simply sink your teeth into. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also check out my hashtag MSMReadyToRead and follow me on Instagram at ms_martins_class for more new books and fun lessons that are sure to engage you and your kiddos. Be sure to tune in next week for my next Book Talk Tuesday podcast, and please comment below if you've read this book or another book by the author. Thanks for watching!